was different. The smell of it confirmed it. The waited-for season had arrived. The first day of it always feels specific, different from all the days that follow. Last year's version of this moment, coming back without being called. Having a favorite time of year makes the whole calendar worth it. The harder stretches are more manageable when this is somewhere on the other side. The pull to be outside, the earlier waking without effort, wanting to take in as much of this air as the lungs will allow. The color of everything shifts, the light arrives at a different angle. Same place is looking like somewhere else. Same life feeling like it has more in it. There's food that belongs to this time, things that only make sense now. People we're seeing in this particular light, everything tilting toward yes. A year goes fast, and here it is again somehow. Another one made it to this point this season as the proof. Loving a season means missing it, but knowing it comes back makes the ending okay. Holding the last of it carefully while already looking forward to next time. Not wanting to forget what this air feels like, taking the long breath more than once. Arrives every year and still feels new every year. The same feeling of yes. It didn't go the way it was supposed to. That's just what happened, and it couldn't be changed. Sat with it for a while doing nothing, wasn't sure where to start. Not pretending it didn't sting, it did, and that part got its time. Replaying the decisions, looking for the exact place things went sideways, but staying there indefinitely wasn't an option. Something had to move eventually, holding it wasn't changing it. That much was clear, even then. Coming back wasn't dramatic, more like noticing at some point that the direction had shifted slightly, without any single moment causing it. Failing showed something, there's a next time, and it looks different now. Not all of it was wasted, that became clearer with some distance. Not carrying it forward felt like a choice, a small thing to feel good about. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be capable of getting back up. Bad days make the good ones make sense. That's the kind of thing that sounds easy to say, but starts to feel true after enough of the cycle. It'll probably happen again, but standing back up is something that's been proven now. Today confirmed it. That's enough to build something on. The hard days are part of the record, can't be removed but can be used. the comeback made sense. Had been meaning to say it for a while. The timing never felt quite right. Wondered if it would come across strangely. Wondered if too much time had passed. But today came out, thank you, just like that. Actually said, and once it was in the air, it felt like it had arrived somewhere. Gratitude that stays internal, doesn't reach the person it belongs to. Simple enough on paper, harder to execute than expected. The face afterward, something in it shifted. That ripple moved both ways, should have said it sooner. The people who are always there get treated like furniture sometimes. Not without appreciation, just without the words to carry it. Thank you said regularly doesn't lose weight by repetition. It's actually how things stay intact, how the distance stays small. There are still things unsaid, can feel the list of them. Not all of it at once, but more of it more often. The people close enough to think aren't guaranteed to stay close, which is exactly why today mattered. Said while it could still be heard. Words are something, realized it again today. Having people worth thanking is already most of it. The hardest part is always before it starts. Running out of reasons not to move. Today is fine, too tired, maybe tomorrow. The excuses came easier than the effort. But something shifted when the body started. 5 minutes in and the resistance faded. Whatever had been heavy in the head started going somewhere else on its own. Sweat came and the thoughts went quiet. The internal noise that had been running all day just stopped without being asked to. Didn't know the body could do that. The feeling at the end of it, standing in the shower quietly proud. Nothing major was accomplished, but today's version of self had something to show. Moving change is something that sitting can't. Understood that in theory for a long time. The actual experience of it is different. Words don't carry what the body knows. Already thinking about next time. 30 minutes ago, wanted nothing to do with it. Funny how it works in that direction. Every single time the same reversal. The day with movement and the day without feel different in the evening in a specific way. Still hard to start no matter how many times. Still worth it no matter how many times. If tomorrow the resistance comes back again, and it will, it always does. Remember what tonight felt like and trust that the other side of it is this. tired in a way that didn't have a clear name. Not sure what exactly had been draining things. Reached for the phone out of habit, then put it down instead just to see. The first few minutes felt like missing something. Hand moving toward it a few times without thinking. Each time stopped and let it go. Something started settling after a while. Had been watching other people's lives without quite realizing that's what it was. Comparing without naming it comparison. Feeling behind without knowing what the race was. With the screen off, there was nothing to track. No feed moving, no number changing. Just the room and the quiet inside it, which turned out to be quieter than expected. Doing nothing without a screen is different. The mind starts sorting through itself. Things that had been fuzzy started clearing, not by thinking harder, just by stopping the input. Information at that volume has a weight, didn't feel it going in, only felt it lifting when it stopped. That gap was where the tiredness was coming from. Significant, it happened anywhere. Found that more interesting than it should have been. The world continued without the watching of it. Didn't realize how much was resting on the scroll until the scroll was gone and the rest came back. Doesn't take much, just the decision to set it down, and then a little patience with what comes after. Going to do this on purpose sometimes. Easy enough to do, easy to forget to do. But knowing the quiet is that close makes the next heavy day feel more manageable. Before the alarm decided to. Thought about going back for a moment, then didn't, just stayed with it. Something about the darkness felt like an invitation. The sound of coffee being made was the only sound in the whole place. Quiet like this doesn't come easily, usually already running. By the time the day starts, the window showed a sky still deciding. Orange arriving slowly at the edges. The sun coming up happens every morning, but watching it land differently when you're there for it. Warm cup in both hands, nowhere to be, no agenda waiting on the other side of this moment. Just the air and the light and the stillness, sat with it without needing it to be anything. Early morning is a different kind of time. Something about it feels like it belongs to you. The world hasn't started asking for things yet, just you. And whatever the day hasn't touched, read a little of something left left unread. Did a small thing that had been waiting. Nothing significant from the outside, but from the inside it felt full. The city started waking up at the edges. Sounds coming in from somewhere down the road. The private hour was coming to a close. Held on to the last of it before the day arrived. Decided to do this again tomorrow. Know that decision doesn't always survive the night, but mornings like this make it feel possible. The kind of possible that lasts at least a few days. By evening, the morning was still somewhere in the body. The quiet of it carrying through everything after. A good start has a way of holding longer than expected, further than it should.
Nothing that expensive, but buying something chosen for yourself sits differently than the regular kind of purchase. Could feel it standing in line. Hadn't planned it as a reward exactly. More like today felt like a yes. The fact of being in that mood already felt like the good part. Something that had been looked at before without quite getting there. Today it got there. Might have been a day that allowed it. Not about justifying it to anyone, more like acknowledging something quietly. Not excusing but recognizing the difference felt important. Walked out with the bag and noticed something in the posture had changed. Taking care of yourself in small ways might actually be what it looks like. Got home and opened it better than the moment of buying it. Somehow that gap between getting and having always surprises a little. Choosing something for someone else and choosing something for yourself look the same from the outside, but they're completely different from the inside. Sitting with it afterward, thinking about next time. Maybe when something else gets finished, or maybe just when it feels right again. That seems like enough of a reason. Could probably afford to do this more. Recognize the good days more often. Even without buying anything, noticing counts as the same thing. Was walking home the usual way. Then the sky started doing something. Noticed it sideways first, then stopped completely. Orange into purple into something without a name. Not like it had never happened before. Today's version was different. Couldn't move past it. Had somewhere to be. All of that left immediately. Just standing there looking up. Time doing something strange. Other people walking past without stopping. Thought about saying something to them. Decided to just keep it. Felt fine being the only one still. The sky shows up every evening, not always worth stopping for. Today it asked for a moment, and stopping felt like the only right response. Watch the colors shift by degrees, the best part lasting less than it should have. Knew it was almost over, tried to hold it in the eyes anyway. Took a photo and looked at it, immediately knew it wasn't this. Some things are only the real version, this was one of those things. Started walking again when the dark came in, a little late but nothing lost. The fact that this was today's sky made the whole day mean something different. Same road tomorrow, same time, might be nothing worth stopping for. But this one happened, and that's kept now, enough to last for a while from here. Can't fully remember what started it, but the moment it became uncontrollable, that part is clear. Started as normal laughter, then crossed some line where normal didn't apply anymore. Didn't know what was funny, but couldn't stop anyway. Stomach starting to hurt, eyes watering without permission. That made it funnier, which made it worse. Somewhere in the middle of it, had a distant thought about how long it had been. That made it funnier too. No exit anywhere in sight. Trying to calm down only made it worse. The person next to me in the same state, both of us completely gone for an amount of time that's hard to account for. Full laughter takes something out of you. Felt genuinely tired afterward, but not the kind of tired that feels bad. Something closer to the feeling after a long exhale. The what of it matters less than the fact of it. The memory of the feeling outlasts the reason. Whatever triggered it has already faded. The time itself is what stays. Having someone to lose it with isn't something to take for granted. Days where that happens on its own are worth holding somewhere specific. Came out of it feeling cleaned out somehow, like something that had been sitting there quietly. Got laughed out of the room, ready to go again after a day like this. Wasn't in any particular rush, just moving at the usual pace. Then something in the air caught me, and the feet stopped before the brain did. Took a second to place it, breathe in a little more deliberately. Found the bakery a few steps ahead, steam coming out of the window. Why does fresh bread do that to a person? Make everything feel suddenly okay. Wasn't even hungry, but was already walking toward it. Looked through the glass at everything lined up, every single one looked right. Decided what today's treat would be in about 3 seconds flat. Smell connects to memory somehow. Sometimes something comes back without a name. No clear picture of where or when, just a warm place from somewhere before. Walked away with a bag in hand,
had shifted upward. One smell pulled me sideways for a moment, and that was enough to change the whole thing. The city is full of things passing through the air. Most of them go by without landing, but occasionally one stops you mid-step. Today was one of those days. Coffee from a place with the door open, flowers outside a shop on the corner, rain just finished somewhere nearby. Each one its own small moment of atmosphere. Would like to hold on to the way this one smelled, but that's not really how smell works in memory. Maybe it comes back on the same street someday, and that would be more than enough.
Made it home, but the city is still somewhere in the head. Opened the bag and caught the smell of the trip. Just a few days ago, and already it feels distant. The kind of distance that doesn't make sense yet. Went through the photos and they all look nostalgic, which shouldn't be possible for something that recent. But that's what it felt like scrolling through them. Already something to look back on. The night we laughed until our faces hurt, getting lost and nobody making it a problem. The place we walked into randomly that turned out perfect. All of it already becoming the stories we'll tell. Travel keeps going after you get home. The reason the good feeling doesn't stop right away is that every time someone from the trip comes to mind, something warm comes with it. A little reluctant to step back into the routine, but the afterglow makes it easier to handle. Even when Monday comes back around, that trip is still sitting somewhere inside. Standing at the washing machine, thinking about next time. Still in the middle of the feeling from this one, already planning the next before this one fully lands. Found that funny about myself. Thought about sending a proper thank you to everyone. Sat with the words for a while, then let them go. Felt like they already knew without being told. Sent a sticker instead, and that was enough. The afterglow fades in its own time. Eventually it finds its way into the everyday. But this trip is going somewhere specific in the memory, somewhere that stays marked. The let's do it again from the last day feels more likely to happen this time, before the next one is even planned. Already looking forward to it. Can't think a trip enough times to feel done with it. No matter how many times a thought comes back, it still lands. As long as this feeling is still running, the ordinary days look a little different too.